This is the mold that we're using to make the skull, and hopefully it works. We filled it up, I lubed up with Vaseline, and then I filled it up with expanding foam, but it was like the kind that, hold on, it's right over here. It's this stuff, which is just like for like windows and stuff, like to fill in like seams. And my dad and I were not sure it was gonna work, so I did a little test. Because I filled the mold up probably like 2/3 of the way. I filled this bottle up probably up to where my thumb is. That's about how full it was. And now it's almost halfway up the label. So I think the expanding part worked. So yeah, yesterday I cleaned out the mold and everything. And now there's weights on top. And we're gonna give it an hour. And we're gonna see what happens. I really hope it works, because if this doesn't work, I don't have a second plan to make the skull, and I think I'm just gonna have to sculpt it myself out of plaster, which will suck. But yeah. Secondary update on the skull. We're up past the label, and I think it's done expanding. We were gonna give it an hour initially, so I started this at 10:30. And it's currently 11:39, so I just checked the actual mold a couple times. There's some leaking coming out this side, but Dad says that's normal. But we're just gonna wait another hour, because I pulled that off to check on it, and there's like a hole, which is where I like inserted the foam, and I like sprayed it in there, and as soon as I pulled it off, I could see the foam trying to like come out of the top. And so we're gonna probably give it another hour, and then we're gonna see. But there's like bits of foam around. Come on. From like when I sprayed it, I like wiped the thing off, and it's actually pretty, like, it's flexible. It's soft. You know, this isn't a great piece because I can just rip it, but it's almost like packing peanuts kind of foam. So I think this is gonna work good. And I was really worried about it being too heavy, because I'm trying to make like the Box of Doom kind of thing. I didn't want it to be so top heavy that it falls over and you could never use it. But this is a very small piece, obviously, but it's very lightweight. So I think it's gonna work pretty good. Update on the skull. It is now 5:40. So it has been curing for 6 hours. It's only supposed to take an hour. And it is not done. We tried to demold it, to take it out of the mold, to take the mold apart and get to the skull. And well, number one, we took the bottom piece, we flipped it over and we took the bottom piece off, because the bottom piece is like a big flat piece. You could just pry it off. It was real easy. Well, it was supposed to be the easiest one, but it was actually pretty stuck on there. But there were two problems. Number one, we took it off, we could see the bottom of the skull, and the inside was still liquidy. And it started very slowly expanding out, like a little skull volcano. So that's how we figured out it wasn't done curing. The second problem is that I only lubed up with Vaseline the inside of the mold, so that, because like I wanted to be able to, you know, in hindsight I should have lubed up the whole thing, but I didn't. And so the foam kind of expanded into the cracks, which is normal, but now it's going to be very hard to take the mold apart. And so that has me worried. I think that the skull is going to be fine. It's just, I'm afraid that in taking it apart, because it's so stuck together, it might be more difficult, and I'm afraid that we might end up like ripping. Like, I think that the skull is gonna come out good if we can get the mold off of it, but I'm afraid of, like, you know, the piece being really stuck, ripping it off and taking half the jaw with it. So I think I'm just gonna leave it overnight, and we will see how it turns out. I'm not gonna have much time to work on it until next weekend, but in the morning, I'm gonna be up early anyways. I'll try and take it apart, and we'll see what happens. I took it out of the mold, and it's not perfect, but I can work with it, I think. So here it is. Now, obviously, I can trim off all the excess, right? So you can see I've got the teeth, I've got the nose, you can see the eyes, but the big issue is that there's a big old hole right here. That side of it just never filled. And I don't know if it was something to do with the foam or the way we did it, or if it just didn't have enough time. The other side is like still not perfect, but like this side is pretty, you know, there's kind of like a crack in it, but right, like that's not perfect, but this side was just totally nothing. So I don't know, but I'm gonna make the rest of the thing with plaster, and so I can just kind of like, I'm gonna let this guy just sit overnight, and in the morning I'll check on it, and if there's anything more that's kind of hardened, then great, and if there isn't, then I'm just gonna scoop it out, and then I think I'm just gonna fill it with like tin foil and then plaster over it, and then trim off all of the excess, and I'll take some pictures of it when it's in this state too. I don't know, I wish it had come out better, but it came out better than I expected. I can definitely use it. It's definitely a skull. But yeah, I'll take some pictures now. We might try and cast a second one. This one took a while. Like, it was in the mold for... It's currently 7, almost 8 o'clock. So it was in the mold for like 9 hours. And it still wasn't perfect. And honestly, I don't know if it was gonna finish, because like the parts of it that are still kind of soft and goopy, they're not soft in the way that the uncured expanding foam was soft. It feels soft like it's cured, but it just cured in a less dense structure. You know, the majority of the skull is intact. Like, if you look, you can kind of see the profile of like, the left is round, the right isn't quite round, but just, you know, I can fill that up with tin foil, cover it up with plaster, and it'll be fine. Maybe I should have left it here. Probably. I don't know. I guess we'll never know, because I took it out of the mold. But it had been in there for so long, and I just didn't think it was... I didn't think it was doing anything anymore. So I was like, fuck it. I ripped the band-aid off to see what would happen. And, you know, it's only 8. So if I really want to, I can clean the mold out again. I can lube it up again, this time lube it better, and I can cast another one. And then I'll wake up tomorrow morning, and, you know, we'll see what happens. I don't know. I'm conflicted. We'll see how it turns out. It is the next morning. It is Monday. I spent a little bit of time last night cutting off some of the flashing from the skull. And now I'm pretty confident that this is going to work just fine. You might remember there's a big chunk taken out of this side. I just scooped some of the like still wet foam out of the mold and slammed it in there, and it dried and everything, and it was great. So I let my Dremel charge overnight. I think I'm gonna put Luna outside. I don't know how well you can hear her, but she's being very loud. But I'm gonna work on smoothing this guy out a little bit, because I've got a little time before I need to leave for work. well, I mean, the whole thing's gonna get covered in plaster anyways, but I think that's pretty good. It needs a little bit of a wash. And I might still have to take down this bit a little more, but I think that's pretty good. Now, hopefully you can, I'll do it from back here, because I'm not sure how the lighting is. I don't think that's half bad. I'm satisfied with that. And I mean, it probably won't come out perfectly exactly the way I want it, but it'll be me. It'll be a little charming, you could say. I'm gonna hate cleaning this up after work this week. First of all, I've got this. I think it looks pretty good. I'm still debating whether or not I'm gonna put one in this eye hole, because it never fully, like, in that one, like, this eye is solid. This eye is solid, but this one had a hole, so I dremeled it out a little more, just in case. I was thinking about putting one of the glow-in-the-dark ones in there. And I finally have a kind of a basic sketch. I basically am trying to make like a tiny box of Doom, which is, it might actually end up being bigger than the actual box of Doom. Sorry, I know that you don't have a lot of space. I know you don't have a lot of space, but I had already gotten the materials and everything to do this before you had told me that. So I'm gonna try and make it as small as I can at this point. But I'm sorry, because it's probably still gonna be kind of big. I have... Alright, don't worry. Okay, I know these boxes of foam look huge, and they are huge. But I'm definitely not... And I actually have a third one there. Excuse the mess. I'm not gonna use most of it. I'm still debating whether or not I'm gonna make this boxy bit, like the actual dice pit thing, the dice tray. I'm thinking about making that out of cardboard. I'm not 100% sure. It might be easier to do like the bricks out of foam. I'm still figuring that out, but the issue is the skull is kind of human size. So it's like, if you imagine, here, maybe I can use some camera magic if I can get up high enough. Right, so if we look at the size of the skull compared to the box of foam, and then, oh, that's not even close. But like, you see what I mean? Like this drawing right here, this one, compared to the size of the foam, you know? I think maybe I'll try and do like the neck here. I think this might be foam. And then the bottom will be some kind of cardboard and foam. I don't know. I'm really struggling. I wish I had given myself more time, but I only had this idea like right before I had to leave for work and get all the supplies and stuff. So I'm probably going to be working on this all night at this point, because I have today and tomorrow to do it. I'm just kind of praying that once I cover the thing in plaster, it'll all be kind of uniform. So if, you know, if it's not perfect, I can just kind of fudge anything by just covering it with plaster and making the plaster all wet and nice. Alright, I'll try and, here's a nice look. Maybe I'll use this as some B-roll or something. And I've still got three more. I got this one and two more there. So I don't know. Maybe I'll end up using them for like decoration, like down the spine. Or maybe I won't, in which case I'll just give them to you. But we'll see. Hopefully this works out. because I don't have a backup plan. Okay. So I think I've got a plan now. I'm gonna make kind of like the base of the neck out of styrofoam. I'm just gonna carve it, and I'm probably only gonna use like half of one of these. And then I'm gonna kind of fill it out and shape it with tinfoil, because I found some tinfoil. All right. Well, that sucks. I didn't expect it to slide around so much. I think I just gotta do it. I'm bad at this. I'm very bad at this. Maybe this one will work better. Let's try it without this thing. Because fuck that thing. This sucks. Definitely fucked up my desk. We're gonna do a little line like this. And we're gonna do a little line like this. And now we've got a little bit of a shape going on. And I'm going to cut that shape. So we get to do more cutting. Isn't that awesome? I love this part. I've shaved her down a little more. Right? And I was trying to carve out more of like an organic shape with this thing. And it's barely making a dent. But I have this. And I have this. So we're going to see what happens. It's on the thing. Okay. Let's do it. Hopefully this doesn't immediately kill me. That works. Oh god. I gotta... I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, because I really have to brace it against the... Oh well. I promise, it'll be different next time you see it. I told you it would look different. The drill was surprisingly effective. It's a lot more natural looking now. I tried to do sort of a spine. You can just barely make it out. And honestly, like... I think that's pretty good. I mean, I wish I could... hold on. We're looking pretty good at this point, right? Obviously, I'll put it on straight, hopefully. But I think that's half decent. And then, I just gotta make the actual, like, dice tray part. Which, will be cool. So yeah, I think this is actually coming out. This is coming out a lot better, a lot cleaner than I expected it to. I was a little overly optimistic about this project, I think. And then I started actually doing it, and I was like, wow, this is gonna suck. I can stick my whole finger in its eye. But now that I'm, like, making shapes and stuff, I think it might actually turn out okay. But yeah, next up, I'm gonna try and... I still have to decide if I'm gonna make the tray out of styrofoam. Actually, you know what? Oh, I should have left the glue gun on. Because it's been a while. Hopefully it's still warm. Because I'm gonna glue the skull to the thing. Because I'm gonna plaster over it anyways. So the glue isn't gonna be the only thing holding it together. Thankfully. But while I do that, I'm gonna tell you my plan from this point on. Is this still hot? Yes, it is. Kind of. There we go. Super safe. Safety first. Safety first, safety always. Okay, so I have to figure out whether I'm gonna make the actual dice tray part of it out of cardboard or styrofoam. Because so far everything's made out of some kind of foam. And it seems to be working alright. I'm a little concerned that this might end up being top heavy. I was considering using a piece of wood for the bottom. I thought that might make, you know, satisfying dice roll sounds and also make it nice and bottom heavy so it wouldn't tip over from the weight of the skull. So I think I'm going to take a little break, maybe clean up a little bit, and try and come up with a game plan for how I'm going to do the dice tray part. It's close, man. It's really close. I was hoping that I could end this segment after I had hot glued it, with me being like, oh man, the hot glue thing wasn't even hooked up. I was hoping I could end it with me like holding it and being like, hey look, it's really coming together, you know? Which I guess I am doing right now. I'm just holding the two pieces together in my hand. And it's straight on, thank goodness. But I think once this is glued on, and like good enough for it to stay in place, I'm gonna take a little break-see, because I'm tired. I'm gonna clean up, and I'm gonna finish up the tray part. And then once that's done, I'll probably take another break, and then I'm gonna plaster over the whole thing, because I want the skull and the neck portion of the skull to be smooth. Plaster is how I'm gonna kind of unify everything so it all looks like it's one piece. But yeah, that's the plan right now. And we're back. It has been several hours. Not several hours since the last update, but several hours since I started today. I took a little break. I talked with Stella about her campaign. You're currently... Oh gosh, I'm flipping. Here we go, boom. You're currently watching Obi-Wan right now, and you're not impressed with the acting, and I'm sorry about that. But I have something to show you that might make you feel a little better. Look at that. Look at this. Look at this handsome... Look at this tall glass of water, huh? Look at this Look at that bone structure. I mean, are you kidding me? I'd let him marry my daughter, I'll tell you what. I'm unironically quite proud. The last thing I need to do tonight, and I have to do it tonight, is cover it in plaster, because plaster is going to take a long time to dry. But here's the thing, right? I've got plaster, I've got water for the plaster. I can't find any scissors. And I know we have scissors, but I can't find a single goddamn pair of scissors. And that's holding me back a lot right now, because I'm ready to get this done and I'm ready to settle down and go to sleep, because it's getting late. So, we're gonna keep looking for scissors, because that's all I can do. Hi. I'm being very careful because my hands are covered in plaster. I did find scissors. This is... Hold on. this is what we're dealing with so far. It's already drying very fast, which is great. I've done this first top layer of bricks, I've done most of the base, and I'm starting to kind of merge that into the skull, as well as I ended up using... I never really mentioned this in the video here, but this bit is just some Tupperware that I may or may not have stolen from work. A lid from some Tupperware, and I cut off a bit of the rim to put here, and that's where this bit is. So I cut off the rim so this would fit, and then I was like, oh, well, that might make a good spine. And I think that looks awesome. But yeah, the plaster is going great. I've almost finished everything that I've prepared for myself, and then I'm gonna have to cut up some more. But yeah, this is just... it's going pretty good. I'm quite happy. Good morning. It is the day before Maeve's birthday. I've been awake for a little bit. This is our project. It's still just a little bit damp, so I'm probably gonna let it rest still for a couple hours, but I'm pretty confident that I'm gonna be able to finish this in time. I mean, painting won't take too long. I'm just gonna do, a couple layers, so I can give it till probably like 3 or 4, give it another, 6 hours to dry. And then I'll be able to paint it no problem. So, maybe I'm speaking too soon, but it seems like it's gonna be a success. Man, that looks awesome. That looks so good. Oh my god. I'm so freaking happy with this. Holy shit. What a guy. Are you seeing this shit? What a freaking behemoth. Oh my god, how awesome is that? I'm probably still gonna do one more layer of gray at least. But a much lighter one. I'm gonna do it like a dry brush. God damn. God damn, god damn. God damn. I'm so proud of this. I mean, come on. That's just... oh my god. It came out so good. And you can see the numbers in the dice, not 100% perfectly, but Oh my god. I wish the teeth had come out a little better. But honestly, I'm not gonna complain. This is so good. I think I might just be done for the night. I thought I was gonna have to do tons more, but this is just beautiful. And I mean, all I really gotta do tomorrow, and I've got time. All I really gotta do is like maybe do a little bit of touching up. Like maybe fix up the bottom. Write something. I don't know. And then I just gotta seal it. I want to like pick it up and hold it and carry it around so bad, but I'm not going to. And the dice on the side is such a cool little touch. Like that's just so, the little, like the asymmetry of it. Ugh. I might just make myself another one. Probably not, because this has taken a lot of time and a lot of work. But it's been worth it, because I get to give it to the person that I love most in the world. Good morning. Good morning. Today's the day. My lovely girlfriend, Maeve, is 21. And she's just about finished. Not my girlfriend. The thing. I've got her in the sun. I put some matte coating on her. And we're just gonna let her dry for as long as I can. And I've got a box and bubble wrap and everything. But yeah, I'm sorry I did it off camera, but I didn't think spraying it with a little bit of, just a touch of matte was gonna be all that interesting to watch. But this will probably be the last time I've got my hands on it before I put it in the box, so just wanted to document this finished product. It is, I'm very proud of it. And I really hope Maeve likes it. I guess this will probably be the end of these videos with whatever I decide to do with them. So